was saying to you guys earlier, it's kind of, I think it's shit, to be honest. Yeah, I feel really good. I feel really pleased to have it out. I'm really grateful to everyone that's worked on it, yourself obviously included. Yeah, it's I don't know, putting an album out feels like it should be more momentous, but it's kind of like I'm already just gassed to get on with the next thing, I guess. But at the same time, really happy with what we did and how it's all turned out. So
yeah, I think it's different for me as it would be for you, because it's like, I don't know, it's your baby, you know. And I think the process was a lot longer for you in the end, because I was on the last 9 months of the journey.
Was it 9 months of we were
9 months of
mixing
mixing? Yeah.
Wow.
9 months of mixing.
Yeah.
It feels good to have it out, and it feels like it's now for everyone else rather than just us.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It was this secret for so long.
Yeah.
And now
it felt like it was never going to get done at one point.
Yeah.
And a lot of the songs as well were really like a long time in the making. Like some of them were like 2014 I started writing.
Yeah.
A couple of the tracks on there. So I never thought there was an added layer of never thinking that it would get done. But then some of the tunes are like I literally wrote maybe a month or two before I brought them to you. I was a very shy, nervous individual. I felt quite socially anxious growing up. And I think I used music as a tool to express that, and it was kind of an escape for me because I didn't really know how to act around people, if I'm being brutally honest, growing up. So I was just, I got to a certain point and I was like, why am I like this? And then that all just sort of poured out in music, basically. So the album's kind of about that, just trying to figure out why I put so much time into music.
I felt like I learned more about you through mixing the album.
Yeah.
Where like all the things, it felt like a little insight into, your head, I guess. And just, it kind of put some context to some of the things that you've told me about yourself and like your experiences and stuff. And I think that it's a beautiful thing that you get to now tell the world that, and they get to share it in whatever way they infer it, It's
it's
definitely a very cool thing.
Yeah, I think I was quite open about like some mental health stuff on it, and I think we're getting to a point now where more and more men, especially, can talk about that in music. Yeah. So I was definitely tapping into what felt like a bit of a cultural shift that's happening now, where it feels like men are being more intimate with how they feel and maybe why they've got to the place that they're at, and all these kind of things. Like that Kendrick album, for example, the most recent one, was incredible. Like James Blake is quite open with his mental health stuff in his music, so I felt really comfortable to be able to do that with this album too, just because of it's been quite common in the last few years to do that. So
I think that's why it speaks to people as well, because like people probably listen to it and relate to a lot of what you say, especially people that are, say, introverted or have a similar line of thinking to you. They can hear it and they can think, oh, that's how I feel. Like,
I hope so. Yeah. That's the best thing when people say they resonate with it and they see themselves in it. That's beautiful, and it's kind of ironic because it's so personal. You think, how's anyone going to relate to this? It's all about me, but actually it's kind of the best thing because personal experiences are quite universal. Certain elements of it are personal, but like the feelings that you go through, like with grief, with anxiety, they're all universal feelings. So people are gonna want to hear your version of it, but like still resonate with it. So I think that's really powerful. Next question. I mean, they were all they all came from a certain place. I mean, I guess Head Down was probably the most visceral as I was writing it. It was like, damn, man. So obviously that was about my dad passing away, but then there was other things mixed in with it about like growing up mixed race, and I don't know, it was just kind of a mixture of emotions. But trying to overcome feelings of like inferiority and all this stuff, and feeling like parts of your childhood that was instilled in you by nurture. Yeah, I don't know. That was quite a heartbreaking tune to write. But yeah, I'm so glad that tune's out, and it feels like that's resonating with people that are listening. So yeah, I'm glad I did that one. I always wanted to make an album. I always knew from very early on in like doing music, I wanted to be an album artist. So like, but I just didn't want to. I didn't see the point in doing one if there wasn't going to be. I didn't want it to just go out and not do anything or not perform. So yeah, I mean, basically speed up a bit then to like 2020. I signed to. So I'm not Tru Thoughts that I'm with now, but I signed to another label called Part of the Van, and I was doing an EP and an album. So having that backing, having that like focus was what sort of put the album in. So I did the EP, and then I was working on the album sort of at the same time. And yeah, I don't know. Just when you have a label that want you to make an album, it makes making an album easier, to be totally honest. So that was sort of the start of it, 2020. And yeah, most of it was like producing at home in my room, but then it was a good year where we were like producing it and mixing it together. Yeah.
Well, we did Every Step, which was kind of like the bridge single between the EP and the album. Yeah. And that's how we started working together.
What happens afterwards as well?
Yeah.
Was that before or after?
That was before. Was that after your EP?
That was before. Then the EP, and then Every Step was after. Yeah. But you didn't mix Uncrowded, did you?
No. But the I think like the direction of your music was kind of what's the word that I'm looking for here? Galvanized by that whole point of what happens afterwards, Every Step. I think that was like the direction of the album's sound. So I think you kind of had an air of what you were going for creatively from that point going into it. Yeah. And then I mean, as you said, some of the tunes have been on hold for so long that I think you were kind of building this. Well, from what I can tell, you were building this kind of aura around what you wanted the album to look like through those singles. Yeah. And that kind of helped shape what the album looked like today.
So. Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of that stuff was written around the same time. Like some of the Every Step, I probably started Every Step after some of the album tracks. Like, so it was all kind of a meld of sound, I guess. And some things just take form quicker than others. It's mad. Like some things gestate for a lot longer period. Yeah. Maybe it's a lyric or something you can't get, or just the sound's not working, or whatever it is. Like some tunes just find their way to the finish line quicker, which I always find quite interesting because I don't know. Some tunes I'm not that passionate. I'm passionate about most of the tunes I write, but there's some like that I'm less passionate about that just go done. Yeah. And there are some I'm like, I love this tune, but I just can't figure it out.
Farfisa.
Yeah. Dave hates me for that one. Dave hates me for that shit.